Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Nightmare Mode run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Demon, which is one of the most powerful characters in the game when you get to the end game, but getting there can definitely be a little bit tricky. The Demon is incentivized to play at very low health throughout the early game, and that can be pretty tough on Nightmare Mode, especially on Crash Zone, which is the map that we're playing, because there's just so many projectiles to avoid. There's a few different ways that you can play the Demon. You can play it as a standard character and not spend down to no health, because this character's economy is really strong. So if you use something like Torch, which gives you the primitive weapon tag for a little extra money, effectively, then you can end up being pretty powerful just buying things like you normally would and maintaining a reasonable level of health. Similarly, Icicle is very strong. But the natural way to play Demon, of course, is Ghost Scepter, since every 20 kills with these weapons, more as we level them up, gives us effectively extra money. So I'm going to jump in with Ghost Scepter. But if you are struggling to make this work, don't be afraid to play the Demon just as though you were playing any other character. Pick Icicles, just get as much attack speed and damage as you can without sending your health too low, and the Demon's powerful economy will carry you as well. You can't get an HP on the Ghost Scepter on the first wave, unfortunately. We won't get 20 kills no matter what we do. Here I'm going to take 5 harvesting. Some early harvesting is pretty powerful on this character. I will, of course, want to build additional ranged damage as well, which was the other option in that shop to make the Ghost Scepters as strong as possible. But we will have time to do that, and a little bit of early harvesting can again help us level up, get more health, which we can spend on items. The Demon, even more than most characters, wants to buy items early because they're so much cheaper. In the first shop, you can see we have this item which costs 1 HP, and this which costs 2 HP. As the inflation in the game increases, we're going to end up with more items doubling in price from 1 to 2 HP. So it's very important to buy stuff early. For that reason, also, in the first shop, we are only going to buy items that cost 1 health, because we don't want to spend twice as much on something that costs 2 health. Even an awesome item like coffee, we don't want to buy in the first shop, because we are looking to spend all of our health as efficiently as possible in this first shop in order to improve our character as quickly as we can. I'm going to reroll here. We are kind of running out of rerolls because we have gotten really unlucky on the Ghost Scepters. So although I said we weren't going to buy any 2 health items, I'm going to buy this coffee because it's such a good item and because we only have 1 reroll left and I want to spend my health. Usually you're going to end up with 6 Ghost Scepters and you'll spend a lot on that type of item. But in this particular case, we just weren't given the option to spend all of our early health. So we have a little bit of extra health to play with next shop. I'm not combining my Ghost Scepters because we really need to get to 6. These are very important for protecting yourself. And so while we could maybe eke out 1 or 2 extra HP this wave, it's more important that we set ourselves up to actually have our full weapon set online quickly. Here, I'm going to reroll once, and then I'll just take 5 more attack speed. Lure is interesting, so this costs 3 health, but we do get 2 items back. This is a weird Demon run, I have to say, because normally I would never buy something that costs 3 on wave 3. But I think the Lure, we will have time to kill at least 1 of the loot aliens, so I am going to pick it up. Scar is another item we can spend 2 health on, at least on wave 2. I wouldn't spend 2 health on this on wave 1, because it'll give us the health back that we spent on it pretty quickly. Jerky, I'm going to pass on, because it's very expensive, and I want to increase my damage very quickly. We can ban Charcoal here. Let's roll. We'll upgrade our Ghost Scepter. We'll buy a helmet. Boxing Glove we're not interested in. We can just go ahead and ban that. I'll buy Lemonade, and I'm happy to spend down to 0 health. I'm going to ban the Duct Tape, because it is super expensive for this character, and then we'll buy a Ghost Scepter. We can ban Peaceful Bee. Yes, we want to build dodge, but we don't want to lose ranged damage, of course, since our weapon scales off of that. I'm also just going to ban the Goat Skull. I could save my ban for a free reroll, but it's I think, pretty important to just use my bands while we have them. We've gotten offered a lot of HP items, which are helping us improve our economy and, of course, keep our HP relatively high. And then we can buy Sharp Bullet, and we can buy another cake, and go to wave 3 here. All right, so I need to be very on top of chasing down the loot aliens. This is wave 3. Normally, you don't have a lure on this wave. But if we can get both of them, then it's going to be really, really good for us. But there's only so many seconds in wave 3, so we need to be really aggressive about making sure we clear them. I was able to do that. I also do not want to pick up Curse. We're on Crash Zone, so we're going to avoid getting Curse here. We'll take the Mutation. That's great. We'll take Tree. Also awesome. And then here, I am going to take 6 Dodge. We're using an Ethereal weapon, so we're heavily incentivized to build Dodge, since we're halfway to Dodge cap already. We could take 3 HP, and normally I probably would, even over the 6 movement speed, but I found enough health items that we can afford, I think, to fix our movement speed there. I'll buy Feather, and then I'm going to reroll. We'll buy a Ghost Scepter. Going into wave 4, I'm still pretty happy spending down to 0 health. Wave 5, I'm going to try to maintain a bank of health. Not that we've actually been able to spend down to 0 yet. We just haven't. We've rolled too many health items and not enough things to spend it on. But we will, this wave, spend down to 0. And then I'm going to roll again. Roll again. I'm looking to upgrade my Ghost Scepters. And now we have exactly 0 health. You can have 0 health. The game will let you basically borrow an HP against your future health income. And then we're going to go to wave 4, and we will have 1 health this wave. So I have to obviously not take a hit on wave 4. If you're not feeling confident that you can avoid taking a hit this wave, then you don't need to spend down to 0 health. But wave 4, I'm usually fairly happy, even with a ranged weapon with the enhanced flies. I'm usually fairly happy to spend down to 0. Wave 5, I'm going to not do that, though. So we left a lot of materials on the ground, but we got to spend our money very efficiently there. I could take 6 dodge, but let's reroll here, and I'll pick up 8 more harvesting and then 2 more ranged damage. I will buy a gentle alien because this only costs 1 health and is going to help us get extra Ghost Scepter income. I will also buy another Ghost Scepter and then reroll, buy another one. 5 health, I think we will be able, with 5 health, to boost ourselves out of range of dying in 1 hit. So I'm just going to save my money here. We do have -5 armor, so I need like 10 or 12 health to avoid dying in 1 hit this wave. And again, you can be a little more conservative if you aren't feeling as confident with the movement. But one of the important things about the demon, especially if you're looking to get a win, if you're kind of struggling with this character, and so on, is that if you spend down to 0 health in the early game and then you take a hit and die wave 2, it's cost you like 30 seconds. You can just restart. So it's much better to play this character aggressively because the opportunity cost is low, unless you're trying to, like me, go for 100% win rate or as high a win rate as you can. But if you're just trying to get the win, be as greedy as possible because you can always restart if you lose in the early game. I will take a Bone Dice. It does cost me health, which costs me money, of course, but percent damage is pretty powerful. We'll take 9 dodge here, and then I'm going to spend down to 15 health this wave. So I'll buy the whistle, and I'll keep leveling my weapons. And then I'm going to roll once to see if I can lock another Ghost Scepter, and roll again, and roll again. Okay, and we were able to lock another Ghost Scepter. Took a little bit of effort, but we got there. The missile costs 4 health, so it's pretty expensive for a little bit of percent damage, so I think we're going to pass on it, even though my percent damage is very poor. This wave can be challenging, and this is why the demon can sometimes struggle on Crash Zone. Ghost Scepter just doesn't do that much damage, so clearing the summons and making sure to kill the eggs, and especially if some slashers do spawn, can be pretty challenging because you may simply not have the damage to do it efficiently. It really helps that we got Sharp Bullet, because even a little bit of piercing damage matters a lot. Tanking that hit, of course, is why I went for saving a little bit of money, or a little bit of health this wave, to make sure that if I walked into an attack, which as it turns out I did, I didn't just die outright. We're going to recycle the Corrupted Shard here. I'll take 6 more dodge, and then 3 more ranged damage is great. I'm going to spend down to 20 health this wave, so we'll buy Ghost Scepter and Feather. We'll re-roll. Defective Steroids is HP neutral for us, but costs attack speed, so obviously we're not buying that. We'll go ahead and buy a Scepter, Tree, and Lost Duck, and roll again, and then we'll keep leveling our Scepters. Gummy Berserker we don't want, we want to fix our armor, and then we'll roll again. We'll buy a Lemonade, roll one more time, and I do want to fix my percent damage, so I'll buy the Head Injury, spend down to 19 here. We don't have guaranteed weapons in the shop or anything, so I'm just going to save my money and go to the next wave. 16 is a fairly expensive reroll, and the ghost, the demon rather, you're going to be buying so many items. Saving some money to make sure that you still have some health, because of course your held materials turn into health, can be pretty useful. Gonna try to clear these 2 enhanced spitters. That one made things really hard, because those guys have so much health. And I think maybe it got healed once, because this is a healer wave. So it took forever to kill it. We'll try to clear that one as well. Try to clear this healer and make sure that we're focusing on the large groups of small enemies to stack up our health as much as possible. All right, I want ranged damage. I want attack speed. 9 health is also good, because of course that just translates directly to buying more items. But let's go ahead and take 15 attack speed. Really important to start boosting this. I will take the cake. It does cost me 1 damage, but gives me 1 health, so it's still, I think, on the whole, a good deal. We'll buy a Scepter here. We'll roll. Broken Mouth similarly costs a regen, but gives me 2 health, so it translates directly into more items. Second Baby Gecko is nice. We've been leaving a lot of materials on the ground. I'm going to spend down to 30 health this wave. I will take a plant. On a Ghost Scepter, you want a mix of regen and lifesteal, because this item... This weapon attacks pretty slowly, so lifesteal isn't super reliable. It's a little better because we have Sharp Bullet, but still a little bit rough. I will buy Coupon. So Coupon works weirdly on the demon. It reduces the base cost of the item. So only if it crosses over a breakpoint, where once the item price is converted into health, would it be lower. So when it crosses over the 20 mark, because it's 20 materials per health. Does it actually provide a real discount? But it is still, I think, usually worth buying. And then here, I'll take a Scar. I do want the Bat. Do I want Weird Ghost going into Wave 8? I don't think I can afford to take that, because it's just really... it's really dangerous going into Wave 8. I'll pick up the Metal, and we'll buy Fresh Meat as well, because that'll start getting me some extra healing. Also, note that when I say, I'm going to spend down to 30, these are approximations. I'm not strictly stopping at 30. If there's a really good item, I'll spend down to 29. But it's good to have in your head an amount of health that you're happy to play each wave at. And in this case, I feel like 30 health is reasonable. It's enough that if I tank 1 hit, we can still heal back up to the point where we don't die in a second hit pretty quickly. Remember that we have -3 armor still, so every point of damage that we take is vastly increased and is going to be significantly more dangerous than it would be for a normal character, and the calculations for how much damage we can take are going to be pretty off compared to how you would think about it for a normal character. Wave 8 is always going to be a tough wave because we just don't get that much out of it. the enemies are not that numerous and very high health, and that's the worst case scenario for an ethereal weapon, of course. We'll take the wheat here, and then I would love to take 20 luck, but I can't afford to pass 3 ranged damage. It's just too good. Attack speed, armor, all powerful. I'm going to reroll, though, and see if I can get a higher level upgrade, and I'll roll again. All right, I'll take 9 dodge. It puts me over dodge cap, but getting 2 dodge cap is pretty important. We'll buy this whole shop, and I'm going to try to stay at 30 health again, I think, this wave. Wave 9 should be very good for us, so I think I can spend down a little bit in order to try to make more money on wave 9. Candy Bag is super risky for this character right now. I think I'm going to lock it, and we'll buy it next wave. But on wave 9, if we get an elite spawn, that's going to be too bad for us. I really don't want that to happen. I will take because it's just going to cost me a lot of money. Crystal, when we have 60 dodge, and when attack speed is one of the best stats for us, is a very useful item here. So, great roll for that shop. Try to make sure that we're clearing out the summons. Candy Bag is a lot of stats, and there's a lot of stats we need, most notably, of course, armor. So I'm pretty happy to pick it up, but we don't want to spend all of Wave 9 dodging an elite, especially because our movement is typically going to be pretty restricted on this wave, thanks to just the sheer number of enemies and the potential for a million goobers to spawn if we're not good at clearing them out. Which is very easy to get overwhelmed by all the small enemies and then let a bunch of goobers spawn. So while obviously Candy Bag is better the earlier you get it, I feel like the potential to cost me a ton of money this wave is too dangerous. I'm going to pass on Fishhook. Curse is just really bad when you're using ethereal weapons, because the weapon already gives you bonus stats for killing enemies, bonus materials, effectively, for killing enemies, so you don't need the bonus money from Curse, and it makes it harder to actually get the bonus from ethereal. I'll take 8% damage here, and then 15 more attack speed, I think, over the ranged damage. Then I'll buy the Candy Bag. Then I will reroll. We'll buy Ghost Scepter. More piercing is really powerful, so even though we have negative crit chance currently and the eye patch isn't doing anything, I am going to buy it. We'll keep upgrading our Ghost Scepter. Injection costs 5 HP for 7 damage. I don't think that's worth it. I will then buy another Scepter and a bag here. We'll roll again. Alien Worm. I have positive consumable heal, so this is just... so this is pretty good. I can buy the Alien Worm, effectively gain 1 health. And then we can buy these items as well. And Baby with a Beard is good wave clear. I don't care that much about stealing kills from my Ghost Scepters, but what I am worried about with Baby with a Beard is it killing summoners that we're not intending to kill, and causing extra projectiles to spawn on wave 16 from the enhanced flies. So I think we're going to pass on that. I'll take the Loot Worm here. We'll re-roll. I'm spending down to 40 this wave, by the way. And I think we'll just take the Ritual, and that gets me down to 40 health. 40 is enough that I feel like we can survive if an elite spawns. I wouldn't be happy about it. You know, with this Candy Bag, I am sort of hoping that we don't get elite spawns for a little bit. Because we're still riding the line on being strong enough to survive an elite. And in part, I haven't been prioritizing healing as much because healing is at its best for elite waves. And we have double horde wave, so we need more damage, more than we need defensive stats. But Candy Bag can throw off that math, obviously, by causing elites to spawn when you aren't expecting them. I need to move to the left side of the map here. Oh no, double Curse Alien. We've had so many Curse Alien spawns for Crash Zone. Way more than normal. So that's restricting my movement a lot. I'm glad I have all the material pickup that we have. I don't know. The loot alien was down there. I just didn't see it in time. Incendiary turret, I'll recycle. Barnacle will recycle. Same deal. I'm going to take 3 ranged damage here because we need as much damage as we can get to overcome the Horde Wave. Obviously, rolling for armor could be pretty good as well, but on the Horde Wave, we just need to clear all the enemies before they can hit me. We'll buy a Scepter here, combine, buy a Scepter. Losing 8 health to buy Leather Vest is a little rough, but my armor is at -2, so I think it is still worth it. And then I'm going to spend down to 50 health here. I'll take a Jelly Shield. I'll take a Cauldron. I will take a Beanie. I would like a little more move speed, especially if we do get an Elite spawn. I'm going to spend down to 50 health this wave. Buy these items. We'll re-roll. Peacock with 0 armor, I don't know that I can afford to take it. Of course, it's very good going into a Horde Wave, but we do have Candy Bag. And if we get an Elite spawning this wave, then the Candy Bag, then the Peacock can just end the run. I think it's still worth the risk. The stats that we get from it are really strong. So I'll buy that. I'll buy the Ritual, and then I'm going to roll one more time. I'll lock Spyglass. Spyglass is quite good. Of course, this is a very high economy character. You're going to reroll a lot. So Spyglass is usually going to be worth a lot. Okay, I'm glad we didn't get an Elite spawn. I was pretty nervous about an Elite spawn for this Horde Wave when we bought Peacock. But also part of the fun of this character is just getting as greedy as possible. I did get a dodge there, which was pretty important, that percent dodge, because it saved my crystal bonus. And that's part of what's going to help us avoid dying, avoid just getting overwhelmed and dying, is having the extra attack speed from the crystal. The Horde Wave on wave 11 can be pretty dangerous. We're getting a lot of dodges, by the way. I'm getting very lucky on percent dodges. Okay, we finally lost out on our percent dodges, and now without crystal, I have to back off, so the dangerous decision to buy Peacock has come back to haunt me a little, but we survived. Part of the fun of this character, of course, is getting really greedy, and a Horde Wave on wave 11 can be pretty dangerous with the enhanced spitters, since they can then hide behind the Horde and the Ribcage enemies. I'm going to take 2 armor here. Range damage is also important, but I really want positive armor. The 9 dodge we would take, except we're over dodge cap, so we don't need that. Let's reroll here. I guess I'll just take 12 more max HP. That's just a bunch of money. And then I'm going to take the 9 speed. Going up to 15 speed isn't bad here. I will upgrade my weapons, buy a Spyglass, and now we have enough max HP that we're in really good shape. Stone Skin is pretty powerful. Of course, it basically gives you a discount on every future armor item that you buy. So right now, we spend 8 health, lose 6 attack speed. Not a great deal. But every armor item that we buy costs less HP by the amount of armor that it gives you. So if you buy a metal plate, it costs 2 less health, effectively. I think it is worth buying here. Just going to give me a little bit more value. I'll take a Ricochet. Ricochet, of course, costs 25% damage, but adds an extra attack to every one of your shots, which is a lot of extra damage. So you're highly damage positive on buying Ricochet. We'll need to fix our percent damage afterwards, but this is very powerful. And AoE wave clear, especially when we still have a Horde Wave coming up, is something that I'm pretty worried about. Now, it does have the downside that it's going to make wave 16 harder and potentially wave 14 and 15, but I think we're fine with that. I'm going to roll here. I don't really care about any of these items. I'll take the Cyclops Worm. We'll take the Bat. Fixing my healing, very important. Do some more re-rolling. Alien Worm is 2 regen for 1 consumable heal. I don't think that that's worth it. Do I want to spend an armor on 10 crit chance? I think I do. In part, it also cost me an extra health because of the Stone Skin, so Sunglasses is really bad there. Or Stone Skin is really bad here, since we haven't been able to buy any armor with it. But the Sunglasses works with our eye patch as well for extra piercing. I'll take a mushroom here. I'm gonna re-roll this. We'll take a baby gecko. I guess I'll sell and buy a leveled up Ghost Scepter. And then I'm gonna roll here. Community support is a lot of attack speed. It costs some armor, but I still think we want it. So Stone Skin has been awful so far. And then 60 HP going into wave 12 is about right. Okay, well, 3 armor off the candy bag. Stone Skin also gives me 3 health off of that, so that part's nice. Gaining a reasonable amount of health here. But now that we've got Ricochet, better piercing, better crit chance, we're able to clear this wave much more easily. So I'm very happy to have found the Ricochet. You can see how much more we're just on top of killing everything now. And the demon is basically about getting to this point. You just need to get to the point where the character's inherently absurdly strong economy is going to carry you. Because if you make it out of the early game with this character, you're going to be basically the strongest character in the game. And so you just need to get to that point. We'll take the Cyclops Worm here. We'll reroll. Piggy Bank, I'd have loved to get this earlier, but Piggy Bank is really good for the demon, since you're always going to have a bunch of materials in the shop, since you only spend them on rerolls. This is one of the best items. We'll take Triangle of Power here. We even get a 1 health discount on it. But of course, we want to not take hits. We have 60 dodge. We have Crystal already, and 20% damage is a big boost to our character right now. Broken Mouth is -1 regen for +1 health. At this point, I don't think it's worth it anymore. I will take the Sad Tomato. It does start me at half health, but we want a bunch more healing. I'll take Pearl. This is mostly for fun at this point, because we're kind of in the you can do anything, have fun with it stage of playing the demon. We'll take the Cyclops Worm. I'll take Bait. Cake is just -1 damage, so we definitely don't want that. Spicy Sauce is just -2 health. We don't want that. I'll do one more reroll. I kind of want to spend down to about 70 this wave, so I'll buy this Ghost Scepter, lock Lens and Banner, and go to wave 13. Walked into an attack immediately, but we got our 60% dodge. Now we're at the point where I wish the candy bag would spawn an elite. Maybe not on wave 16. And I don't know that we're ready for a double elite yet. We need a little more damage first. But my defensive stats and everything are now quite strong, because we've fixed our armor. We have 60 dodge. Of course, we have a lot of health. And my regeneration and lifesteal is definitely getting there. Jelly Shield also makes us much safer against elites. Just a really nice source of additional value and additional safety. We'll take the Gentle Alien, of course. I'm going to recycle Blood Donation. We have Triangle of Power. We have Crystal. We obviously don't want that. I will take 3 regen here. Tardigrade is actually really nice given the items we have that care about taking hits. It also lets me buy Weird Ghost, because I have enough healing that I can buy the Weird Ghost for just +1 HP. And then we'll buy these items. I'll take the Penguin here. I have 6 consumable heal. Is it worth spending 1 of that for 2 regen? Probably not still. I could take Mirror. There's nothing in this shop that I want to mirror, but let's buy the Mirror for fun. Again, because we're in the doing things for the love of the game portion of playing the demon. And double Jelly Shield, I'm really happy. That was a great mirror. Getting us to 3 Jelly Shields makes us so much safer. I could spend 3 health and 8 luck for 3 regen on the alien magic. I don't think that's worth it. Let's keep rolling here. We'll take another Spyglass. I have a lot of attack speed, but more percent damage, so I'm going to pass on the missile. We'll roll here. Alien Baby is plus 5 HP, so it's economy positive. If your damage is high enough, you can get away with buying it. I don't think ours quite is yet. We'll take Jerky, that's great. Small magazine, that's the type of thing we were really looking for. Acid is really good if you get it earlier, but obviously minus 1 HP, minus 2 dodge, minus 2 knockback is not a good button to click. Gonna roll here. Do I want the wisdom? I think I actually do, because that will help me against an elite. If we get an elite that spawns this wave, because I bought Weird Ghost, this wave could have had a fairly dangerous elite that forced us to play the beginning of the wave more cautiously. So the wisdom could have helped in that case. It's going to be worse overall in the later game, because we'll be killing elites faster than the wisdom damage bonus, so it's going to slow our elite and boss kills later on. But for this wave, I think it was a good safety button, and it cost us very little, relatively speaking, because the demon's economy is so strong. It will also be fairly nice for wave 16, where the main challenge is getting enough damage to kill the enhanced flies in one shot in the end game, or in the last like 15 seconds of the wave when a bunch of enhanced flies spawn. So having wisdom increasing our damage over the course of that wave to enable us to make it out of the difficult part of that wave more easily makes a lot of sense to me. I would love to take attack speed, but I don't think I can pass armor here. It also gives me health. I don't really need the bandana. We have extra pierce already. I'll take blood leech. I'll take treasure map. Blood Leech, by the way, I think I've mentioned this before, but this is an item that has quietly become an item I click every time I see it. The healing is just so powerful. I used to rate this item pretty low, but now I pretty much just buy it every time. Take head injury. I'm going to reroll past the bandana. We'll take the penguin. We'll roll here. Obviously, we could buy the knot, and our weapons are already maxed out, so since we're not getting curse in this run, there's no reason not to buy not. Clicking this button, of course, guarantees that we're going to see a legendary, but in general, there's no reason not to buy it. I will avoid buying handcuffs. Obviously, it's correct to buy the handcuffs here. Capping your max HP at over 100 doesn't matter at all. So if you're just looking to win the run, of course, you should click the +8 range damage button. This is one of the best items you can find for the demon, and capping your max HP completely irrelevant. You'll still be able to spend HP over cap. However, one of the fun things about demon is stacking up to 1,000,000 health. So in this case, we're going to do that. I'm gonna roll here, roll again. I'll take some crit chance, and I'll keep rolling. I'll buy some more lifesteal. I still want to stack up my regen stats. Losing 6 dodge doesn't matter, so the alloy we can buy here, and then I'll reroll again, and I'll take a weird food as well, and we're down to 61 dodge. Let's roll one more time. Broken mouth, -1 regen for +1 health is not worth it. So let's just keep 90 health and go to the next wave. Wave 15, of course, should be, because we have Ricochet, it should be a little easier for us than Wave 14, because the Ricochet will easily clear out the eggs, and the main threat on Wave 15 is that there's the enhanced eggs and the goobers, but there's fewer goobers because there's also eggs and tentacles and stuff, so Ricochet easily killing the eggs should make this wave a lot less dangerous. The wave that I'm concerned about, insofar as I'm concerned about any wave, which is not particularly, is next wave, wave 16. We did actually get one enhanced slasher spawning there. A little surprising, but it did happen. I mean, this was a horde wave as well, so of course we took there were a lot more enemies we had to get through. Dangerous Bunny for the same reason as Spyglass, very good for this character. You just roll a lot, and we'll take 7 crit chance. I'll take another coupon. Padding works very well, of course, because you're always going to have positive income. Padding and piggy bank work well together as well. We'll buy the bat here. We'll take the feather. We'll re-roll all this mess. Re-roll again. Ball and chain, we're well over the minimum attack speed, so we do not want the ball and chain. I guess I'll lose 7 attack speed to buy the scope here. We'll buy penguin. We have 225 health, so we can kind of do whatever. I'm going to buy these unique items to get them out of the pool, and we'll pick that up as well. Weird ghost we don't need because it's HP neutral. Can't be the king without a crown. We'll take the triangle of power. I'll take goldfish as well just for fun. Power generator, that's damage positive. We'll take that. We'll take another gentle alien. Reroll again. Take some more lifesteal. Roll again. Roll again. And I guess I'll keep buying eye patches. We'll buy honey. Keep on rolling, and we'll buy another crystal. We have multiple crystals and multiple triangles. That's pretty fun. And you know what? We'll take a bean teacher as well, and we'll go to wave 16. Now I'm at this point in the run really hoping that we get candy bag elites. Now, of course, one thing that you can do as well when you get to this point, if you are struggling to clear, you probably won't be, because this character's economy is really strong, but if you get out of, like, past wave 9, and you're still struggling to clear the waves, you can replace some of your Ghost Scepters with a better gun. You can buy a submachine gun, you can buy, you know, if you get a tier 3 rocket launcher or something like that, you can pick that up. You can buy a nuke launcher. Obviously, we can't do that because we have not, and we don't need to, because we're certainly not struggling to clear the wave, but you don't have to stay with only Ghost Scepters throughout the entire run. We'll take Tentacle here, we'll take the cake, I'll take 4 armor, I guess that's the only stat that's really relevant to us at this point. Trying to get to 100% crit chance as well. I will pick up some luck, we'll take Ugly Tooth to get it out of the pool. We'll take lens and honey. We'll roll again. Roll again. I'll take the mirror, and we'll see what we can mirror here. Mirroring whetstone isn't bad. That's just a bunch of lifesteal. I guess we'll just do that. I think that's fine. It's a little bit of a cheap item to mirror, but it's still pretty powerful. And we'll take some more crit chance. We'll take giant belt. That's going to slightly help us kill the elites faster. And exoskeleton, we lose some regen and lifesteal. We gain crit chance and armor, which gives us 3 of this health back. I guess it's okay to pick up the exoskeleton. Armor is still pretty important to us. And then I'll roll here. We'll buy another coupon, a gentle alien, and a cyclops worm. Keep 100 health and go to wave 17. I'm trying to keep about 100 health most of the time, which again is why it doesn't matter to like buying the handcuffs and capping our health. Totally irrelevant. Because 100 health, 60 dodge, and 20 armor is plenty to get you through even the most difficult waves in terms of defenses. We don't want to lower our health too absurdly much. There was a loot alien, I think it died to the ricochet bounces. Because I see some crates on the ground and I don't see a loot alien anywhere. Actually, 4 crates on the ground, so we've gotten very lucky with crate drops this wave. Cute monkey, I'm going to recycle. We don't want to lose damage. You know what? We'll take the bean teacher and see if we can hit level 30. Cyberball I'll take when it shows up in a box. We'll take the injection here as well when it shows up in a box. I'll just take 3 lifesteal and 5 more crit chance. We're up to 76% on our crits. Sunglasses and Lost Duck. We'll take another sunglasses. We'll take Pearl. up to 96%. So I just need a little bit of crit. I'll take the adrenaline here. Mostly it pulls a unique item out of the pool, but technically we can use the healing. We do have a lot of dodge. And we'll buy another sunglasses, putting us over 100% crit chance. So we're now critically hitting on every attack. That has actually reduced my armor a lot, down to 15. So that's on the low end. I'll take the bait here. Baby with a beard, I think we can still take as well. We can now take as well. It's gonna steal kills from my scepters, but it's also just fun. And then we'll just go to the next wave here. Alright, we didn't get the extra elite spawn from Candy Bag. As you can see, the wisdom, completely irrelevant for this wave. But I bought it for the reasons that I talked about, and it worked well for those reasons. Wave 18 can be a little challenging on Crash Zone if you don't have a bunch of AoE damage. So that's part of why buying Baby with a Beard, buying Ricochet, and stuff like that can be helpful, because it clears out the buff aliens on this wave before they can be dangerous. I guess we did get Curse now, because another Curse alien spawned. Getting Curse at this point, completely irrelevant. We were avoiding it earlier, but now we can pick up Curse. And it doesn't matter, given how absurd our damage is. And this is the payoff for getting really greedy early on. We'll roll here. I'll take 15 luck. I'll take Celery Tea just for fun. Obviously, it's not good, but I think we can hit level 30 with the bonus XP gain, and it shouldn't matter that we have increased enemy health, because our damage is really high. We'll buy Focus here. I'll roll, we'll buy a lens, we'll buy a shady potion, roll again, buy another shady potion. I'm not going to buy Cyber Ball at full price. I will just roll past this. It's a little late for Coupon, obviously. I'll take Corrupted Shard now. I don't need sunglasses. We're already over crit cap. We'll take the Scar. I'll buy Snail just to pull it out of the pool. I'll buy Scapegoat just to pull that out of the pool. And then we'll roll again and buy a Peacock, and that should get me to level 30, hopefully, if I buy Peacock and Black Belt here. And then we'll keep 93 health. Again, just in case we get an elite spawn. But with Celery Tea and Peacock this wave, of course, on a normal character, you could literally never do that. It would kill you instantly. But on the demon, we're strong enough that we can get away with making a wave significantly harder. And this way we hit level 30, so we're going to get a red upgrade. You can see that the Baby with a Beard is costing us money, but it's also creating more visual chaos. So again, part of the reward for playing the demon is that at the end of the run, everything just vanishes immediately. Sure, we'll take the coupon out of a box, we'll take some damage, recycle this. I'll take the lighthouse when it shows up in a box, ditto alien magic. I'll reroll here, take a ranged damage, we'll take 4 armor, take some attack speed, roll, take some more attack speed, and then we can try to kill the bosses. I guess I'll take the med kit. This way, if something goes horrifically wrong, which it won't, but in theory, if it does, we can just heal back up from it. We're well over crit cap, so we can take the metal here. I will keep rolling. I'll buy none of this. I'm really just looking for damaging options. But let's mirror the metal plate, and then we're up to 25 armor. So we're significantly safer. I'm gonna roll here. Roll again. Roll again. Roll again. I guess I'll take the propeller hat. We have some pearls, so luck is still worth some damage. And then now we can take the handcuffs, because we're not going to increase our health anyways. So let's buy handcuffs. We'll buy goldfish, and we'll reroll. And then I'll take another Baby with a Beard and bandana. Those do lower my damage, or the bandana does, but it creates even more chaos. So still really fun. Max that out, roll one more time, buy a tentacle, buy a corrupted shard, and with 113 health, 500 in the bank, let's go fight the bosses. There's no science to where I stopped there. I mean, I wanted to keep 100 health or so just in case, but mostly I was just clicking buttons because we're playing the demon. Alright, so that's the demon. Basically, what you should do is greed as much as possible in the early game. Make sure that you only spend on items that cost 1 HP in the first shop, and mostly only spend on items that cost 1 HP in the second shop. We had a weird exception here because we found a lot of health items and didn't find a lot of weapons, so I ended up spending 2 health on the coffee. But otherwise, you should basically follow that rule religiously. In the first, 3 or 4 waves, spend down to 0 health. Make sure that you're getting as strong as possible, as quickly as possible, because that's going to snowball your character throughout the run. And also, that's right at the start of the run, so if you die, you can just restart, no big deal. In this particular run, we had 97, about 100 health from each Ghost Scepter, 1,000 materials from bags, 57 damage from the bone dice. Wow, because we were rolling so much. We did lose 13 health, so it cost us some money, but 13 health for 57 damage, we would obviously pay that price. We had 1,750 saved from coupons. Now, that rounded, of course, but it still saved us a ton of health. We never got an extra Candy Bag Elite, but we did get a bunch of stats from Candy Bag. 255 extra materials from the Loot Worm. We had 50 projectiles blocked from Jelly Shield. Definitely on the low end for a triple Jelly Shield run, but we were just killing stuff too fast. 1,600 materials saved on Spyglass. Again, you're just re-rolling so much on this character. What else? We had 724 materials from Piggy Bank. Triple Mirror, that's kind of fun. Only 2 items from Treasure Map. 48 materials from Dangerous Bunny. And then Crown gave us 22 harvesting. So those, of course, weren't ideal, but that wasn't the point. 55,000 damage from Giant's Belt, which means, obviously we had it for a few waves, but it was probably worth about 1 weapon in the last wave. Our Baby with a Beard dealt 150,000 damage and basically stole all our kills in the last couple waves as well. But still a very fun item to use. And then we even got to buy a Scapegoat. Alright, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed that run with the demon, and of course, if you have, then feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.